don't think we need a roll call, but I understand all the person, Stacy Stefanski, is excused. So we move on with matters for discussions and actions. So the first item is 2022-0698, Place to be a tavern seasonal temporary public determined premises permit amendment request to for Rivera of Wisconsin, DBA Rivera Lanes, 8600 West Greenfield Avenue, requesting outdoor entertainments on Wednesday and Thursday night temporary 2 to 4. So is the gentleman here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were here
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago.
a couple weeks ago, right? So
Yeah.
everything is in place now? Everything?
Yeah, we're
follow
just
through?
yeah, I'm just starting to book some music stuff. So now it just came up that I could do some music on Wednesdays, like open mic night. So I'd like to do that, and they want to play outside if the weather's nice.
So any questions from the committee members?
Chairman Vitale.
Yes.
I had a couple concerns because initially when you came in, you were asking for weekends. One of the biggest concerns is that even though you're on Greenfield Avenue, that is a lot of residential behind that area. Open mic means
Just so they come and they can just play, like anyone can play basically. So there's one guy who's like the main artist, and then he just allows people to come up and play with him or use his equipment to play.
so that could vary from calm music to rock music to what,
I mean,
what
it-
type of music are you going to have?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could, but typically it's a lot of, I guess it is a lot of like 80s rock and country mostly. Like there's nothing too, I'd say, like, you know, heavy metal or any like rap or anything like that. It's all pretty like instrumental stuff, you know, because most of them are just playing instruments too a lot.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
are you finished?
Actually, I had one follow-up
Okay.
question.
All right.
Being we already approved the weekends, which I'd be okay with that. I think it would be a stretch, in my opinion, to go Wednesday and Thursdays and give you 4 nights a week right out of the gates without really having an understanding of what the impact's going to be to the neighborhood as well. So I have a question actually for Nick, Attorney Serwin, I'm sorry. Is it possible that we hold it open if it is not approved per se and say, okay, let's see in a month, but summer's flying by as well. So
My only concern, I think that'd be possible, especially if we have buy-in from the applicant. My only concern is due process, and so we wouldn't want to, and I would always advocate that we don't hold something indefinitely, thereby not allowing them to appeal that decision or meet it. And so if this kind of trial basis or whatever you want to call it is a plan that you'd be okay with and seeing how things go and then addressing it and you can come back in a month, I think that's fine. If there's an objection from him, I would say we have to make a decision.
I just had another
Yes, sir.
thought, because we do have temporary, like, one-day events, so I don't know if your trial period was to allow the weekends and see how that went, or allow a Wednesday or Thursday night, because you could, instead of approving this, he could get those one-day events until you felt comfortable with
okay,
that.
yeah.
The timing of your ceasing the music, what time you got? 10 o'clock or I believe?
Yeah, so they'll start at 7.
7 to 10.
Then they say they go to 11.
Or to 11?
But we
During, I mean, all, say, to all 4 days or just weekends?
No, that was just on Wednesday.
Just on Wednesday?
So on the weekends, I did only two of them, and they were on Sundays, so they stopped at, 7 at night. Went from 3 to 7.
Yeah.
Were those two?
Mr. Chair?
Yes. All
My concern is, of Alderman Grisham's, do you plan on doing it every Wednesday and Thursday, or you're going to be selective of which Wednesday or Thursday you want to have this entertaining?
Yeah, so the reason I'm asking for Wednesday is because that would be an every Wednesday. And then Thursday, I just had part of the amendment because that would be the only logical day I'd need, like for me. But the first time I came in, because I requested kind of whatever was available on the application. So then we just went down to the weekends, which is I didn't have anything, so now I have the opportunity to have this open mic. So I came back to try and get Wednesdays.
Okay, Attorney Serwin, if we give him, say, for instance, a Wednesday to try it out to see how it works, is that feasible?
I'd be uncomfortable doing that with the application as it stands. We might be able to
Okay.
work with them and kind of create or allow that one-off application for a temporary one. This one would be for, if this is approved, it wouldn't be for, well, I guess we could put conditions on it. You can always put a condition on a license. I'd be uncomfortable with making it just a one-day thing. The scheme here is from date of start through the end term, which I think is in, is it October or is it September? I forget when these normally end.
Well, we've already limited mine back to Labor Day.
Yes, it was
Okay.
Labor Day.
I think the idea for if you're wanting one-time only events, that's where the other permit comes in.
This is
Not-
for
This is for
pretty much
extended.
the duration of the summer is kind of the intent of it.
Every Wednesday?
It
This
could
would
be
be
every
for-
Wednesday if this is approved, yes.
Right.
So, Alderman Serwin, so we can attach some guidelines, right? I mean, we could do that, right?
They're at this stage only on the Wednesday and Thursday if this is approved. So this is a new request for those two dates. The weekend dates are something that's already been approved. You can't have conditions on that
Yeah.
if there were to be any conditions.
So if I could just say
Go ahead.
one more thing too, for the open mic night, they've actually done this at another bar, and they just decided it wasn't worth doing. So he kind of he has a history with other bars of not, having the cops called and stuff like that. And I mean, we've been in business for 22 years, and we haven't had the cops called on us. So I don't know, if that holds any weight as far as the decisions that we've been making for that long to
Yeah.
introduce something new.
Chairman Vitale?
Yes.
That is my biggest concern, is the open mic. A lot of the establishments that have music actually are hiring bands that are fairly well known to the community. And open mic is saying, I could come up with my, guitar and just play along. And that might not be always pleasing to the ear. And that would be my biggest concern, is neighbor complaints on an open mic. Kind of equates to me, and I might be biased, I don't intend to be, because I've never attended open mic, but it makes me think of karaoke.
So I understand what you're saying about that. So the one guy who kind of runs it, so we pay him to run the open mic. So he kind of decides who goes up and who doesn't. So he's familiar with basically everybody who's there and what they do. So we've had people that wanted to do like karaoke, and depending, he just won't let them do it because he says this isn't karaoke. Like, you kind of have to play an instrument if you'd like to sing. But he lets, mostly there's singers from other bands that show up that he'll let sing. So it's definitely not like karaoke.
Okay, Alderman Vitale, I have one more final point. If we were to approve this as the Alderwoman of the district, and speaking with Alderwoman Keene too, could we limit it to just Wednesdays, no Thursdays? Grant this through the end of the season, obviously, which would coincide with your Labor Day date, because once it's back to school for the kids. And come back next year. If there's any problems, we'll address it then.
Okay.
As far as issuance of, another seasonal permit.
The music
Sure.
does have to stop at 10 o'clock.
Yes, and the music has to stop at 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no extensions of the noise ordinance on a weekday.
Oh no, I thought that was like for outside
Nope.
purposes. Okay.
Alderman Road.
I have nothing, sir.
So on your motion, based on the questions, you said just one
Okay,
day.
well, I
Thursday.
would make a motion to approve with the following amendment or
Amendment.
condition, if it is acceptable by you, that we go with Wednesdays through Labor Day and not beyond 10 p.m.
Yeah, that's good.
So we have an amendment on the table.
Mr. Chair,
seconds.
first, before
Go ahead.
we vote, if there is a problem with the neighborhood regarding this Wednesday, can we,
It can be a revocation process.
Yes.
Or there can be a voluntary surrender of that portion of it. Obviously, I try to work with bar owners and implore them to be good stewards of the process. And if something does go wrong, I would encourage you to, I will have contact with you, and you might have more longevity in the future if we work together as opposed to alternative. So for what it's worth, a revocation would be a revocation of the entire license. And so if something goes wrong on this extension, it wouldn't be just revoking Wednesday or the weekends or whatever it's going to be. The license gets revoked. Okay?
Okay, so my other question is, I know the first time I was here, there was another bar owner that was here, and they had the cops call them, and she didn't even know. Actually, they didn't. They emailed or something, and she wasn't even aware that there was a problem until she got here. So is there a way that I can get notified of that if that happens?
It depends on the extent of the police contact. And so there are times where, I mean, there's police contacts at bars. I get it. We all have seen it. But it's when we see somebody that's overserved, or there's underagers in-house, or some big fight or something along those lines, where I would assume the cops are calling the agent, the alcohol agent, at that time to get or cameras or whatever it's going to be. You'll know because the cops will reach out to you.
Oh, okay.
Alderman Road.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to touch on the same thing with the revocation process. It's just not your outdoor part. It's the whole premises that we would be revoking, so.
And that's for the live music then? That's not the alcohol?
Everything.
It is the alcohol.
It's for the whole site.
It's of your alcohol permit. And so you're basically asking for more authority, but with that comes more responsibility, and the whole thing could be lost if something goes wrong. So I'm just advising you that so you know to mind your P's and Q's as best you can, especially in a residential area. It's not going to be something like it's a one-off noise complaint. We'll talk about that. It might be something that we have a conversation about. But if they are upset, then I'm upset.
Sure. Yeah, I don't see.
Perfect. Yeah.
Alderperson Christian.
Yes, I just want to do a point of clarity. Attorney Serwin, you weren't here. I think it was the ECBAR who was here. And actually, that call came through to an alderperson.
Oh, yeah.
So if there is a complaint, you could pretty much guarantee that Alderwoman Keene and I would be the ones that would be addressing it.
Sure.
And contrary to pulling you in, I would call you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just
You know.
like, because I know she was almost like surprised about it. I was like, well, like,
Things like that can happen, but as a
now I don't want them to be
representative,
like-
I'd call you.
I don't want to be like, oh, we're going to pull your license. Like, what? Like, why? What happened? You know?
Right,
There's no
right.
process to it, so don't
Yeah,
worry.
don't worry.
So we have an emotion on the table. We need a second.
A second.
All in favor of the amendment and the motion?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The aye have it. Thank you. Good luck to
All
you.
set.
Okay.
All set, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, then we move on to item 2, 2022-0653, new Class B tavern license and premises indeterminate permit for Nikki Mix Place, LLC, DBA Nikki McZ Place, 9105 West Lincoln Avenue, agent Christopher Allen Miguet. Entertainments included bands and patrons dancing, ALC 22139. Are you here? Okay.
Bear with me. First time I've ever appeared in front of.
Really?
Well, welcome.
Yep, so-
You're welcome then.
We don't bite too hard.
Thank you. Hello.
So it seems like you have a pretty clean record, right? I mean, you're
Absolutely.
straight guy. I mean, right? That's
Yeah, I work in corporate America now. My family decided we're gonna buy current binary games, food, and spirits, and kind of take over their business model, and then add in our little twist to it to, kind of build the
Sure.
the area. That place is massive, by the way. I don't know if you've been there. It is
there.
massive.
that's it.
So my parents are getting ready to retire. They said they still want to do something. I said, well, we have a couple retail stores in Waukesha. Why don't we buy a restaurant? And that's why I'm here today.
That's great. Any questions? of the committee
Mr.
members?
Chair, as you said, this is a huge establishment. And so putting your twist on it, what does that look like?
Yeah, so currently, I mean, you've been there, yes? Okay, so they've got the table set up with the games, and they do full just bar service where you order food, drinks, things like that. So we're gonna eventually be adding in a potential for a restaurant in there, like actually serving a full menu option, just not fried foods, server staff, and kind of elevating to American cuisine plus the gaming solution. They have an entire lower level that they do not use, which I understand I'll have to come forth to y'all to let you know what our plans would be for that. But we want to still have the gaming and the tournament and those kind of things. It's a great crowd, but they're also losing out on a big family crowd here in West Dallas, New Berlin, and Waukesha that we could be catering, kind of family game night with dinner, sort of things for. So that's where we bring our twist in. We're a family-owned business, so we want to involve not just quote unquote the nerd bar side of things, but make it more wholesome. And to that point, it still will be nobody under the age of 21, past 9 at all, but prior to 9. With parents, they're going to be able to eat dinner, things like that. So that's kind of our focus there. We're going to still have the gaming solutions. They've got all the rented equipment with Reds. I don't know where they're. I think West Dallas, right?
Yeah, Red's Novelty.
Yep. So still going to have all that stuff, the board games, things like that. But we want to be able to potentially eventually add like a stage for live music inside, not outdoors. That sounds scary, the outdoor thing, because you can pull an entire license if. I don't want to deal with that.
Well,
so.
don't want to deter you from that opportunity either, so don't get scared about that.
Yeah.
Now,
Any questions?
it's been a multitude of businesses over the years, so I'm really appreciative that you're going to kind of keep that model because its current status was fairly popular.
It is.
You're not planning on turning it into a dance club?
No.
Anything like that?
None. Not whatsoever. Nope. It's still going to be games, food, and spirits. We're going to have a restaurant. We want to cater to more bar side things. So like having, maybe some TVs with, football games to bring in more crowd than just, again, quote unquote, nerd side of the world because unfortunately after COVID, Jana, lovely lady, she just wasn't able to get them back in.
Yeah.
Which is what led us to being able the opportunity to purchase the establishment. So we knew going into this, we can't just cater to one crowd. So we want to bring in multiple aspects of crowds, but we have no plans to be like a downtown nightclub, dance floor, turning down the light, nothing like that. There's no plans to doing all that. At the extent of it's going to be like a live band coming in.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Any further questions
Mr.
from the
Chair.
committee members? Go
I
ahead.
have
Proceed.
just one question, basically, to start off with. You have mentioned bands and dancing, which involves a certain kind of music. So I'm looking at what kind of music do you have planned for this facility?
Yeah, so ultimately it would be like local area known bands. I'm not sure even how to get into looking at maybe having a band, by the way, once a week or twice a month kind of thing, like a Friday night event from from like 7 to 10, 7 to 11, depending what the ordinance says for inside noise and whatnot. But it's going to be local area bands. It's not going to be, I don't know, I'm trying to think like Bella Kane. If I could get Bella Kane in there, like that kind of style of music, if you will, something that's, something that's kind of like family friendly. I don't want, new MC rappers coming in because it is still going to be a family establishment throughout. So I hope that answers your question. I just don't know what bands yet because I haven't even got into that side of things of research.
Just kind of getting an idea.
Yep.
Any further questions?
I have none.
Yes.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
On the motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Good luck to you. You got a nice place there.
Thank you.
What do I do next? Like,
I'm sorry?
This won't be granted by the Common Council until the 28th.
cool. Okay. I just didn't know what I do. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Good luck.
So then we move on to item 3, 2022-0714, new Class A liquor and beer license for the sales of fermented malt beverage intoxicating liquor for Sunshine Corporation, DBA's Super Bottle Depot, 1357 South 76th Street, Agent Harpender Core.
On behalf of the Harpender Corp.
Core, right? Did I spell it right?
I'm sorry?
Did I say right your last name?
Very close.
Yeah, close by. Okay, good.
And are you the agent or you're there on behalf of the agent?
Oh, actually, I'm the owner of
You're
it.
the owner? Okay.
Yeah, we are partners. Harpender Corp, she's the agent and partner. I'm the second partner.
Okay. Because ultimately, the agent is going to be the one who speaks for the liquor license.
Okay.
And so I don't know if the committee has any questions or issue with that, but
Actually, she did call and talk to someone regarding this, and I'm not sure who did she talk to, and she said just, one of you or your partner has to be here.
So I noticed really, I mean, that you're pretty clean operator, right? I mean, I don't see no records on you, So any questions?
Well, he's not the one, though.
Well, I mean, what I've said, but still,
I wouldn't mind seeing Harpinder. Where'd that name go? Harpinder. So you are not Harpinder Kawar?
Yes, correct. I'm not the Harpinder Kaur. My name is Bikram Sidhu. Bikram Bir Sidhu. I'm this partner of Harpinder Kaur.
But we should be talking to Harpinder, correct? Yes, I think we should.
well, it's up to the committee. If you
Yeah,
want
I'd like to-
approve
well,
somebody
I'm
without
just-
seeing them, you could. But ultimately, the agent is the one who speaks for it. I'm not sure who you talked to. It probably I don't know who that would have been.
Actually, she did call and
Yeah.
she did talk to someone. She said one of your guys has
Right.
to be here. So, actually, she's on vacation. She's in California, coming back next Saturday, I believe. Yeah.
Well, if we could bring, that's just my opinion. I'm
That's-
only
that's-
one on this council,
that's
or
up
one
to
on this
your
committee,
members
so.
here.
Saturday the 25th.
25th, yes.
Okay. Because another option is if this is held to common council or something along those lines, and she would appear on the 28th, which is the next common council date, it could be addressed then potentially.
Just hold it till
Okay,
then.
I would make a motion to hold until the 28th.
yeah, that'd be fine.
So the agent can appear.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you. Have a
But
good
it was nice meeting you.
nice meeting you.
Do we have to have a second and a vote on that?
That's all right.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Okay.
But anyway, now we move on to item 4. New Class B tavern license for Paul Saigon Restaurant LLC, DBA Paul Saigon, 10534 West Greenfield Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin, 53214. Agent TUT Nugent, LC 22159. Are you the guy or just representing?
I'm the attorney representing them. It's a female. Her name is pronounced Tu and then Win, and she's supposed to be coming in the door any minute. What they are doing is, this is the niece taking over. Her uncle has been running the place.
Yeah.
So but they've been working there some, so they're just taking over. So everything's gonna stay the same as what it is. Her and her husband have each worked there some over the last, I don't know if that was 3 or 4 years ago that we set this up originally. So they have their own similar name, but their own, just to take over so the uncle can retire. I'm expecting her to come in any minute, and she will be here on the 28th. Two, if you have any questions, otherwise I can answer anything now. I set up the place originally for the owners that are there, like I said, 3 or 4 years ago, whenever it was, and I'm familiar with it to that extent.
And Mr. Chair, if I could.
Yes.
A legal representative is different than just somebody showing up and saying, I'm speaking for the application or the license.
Chairman Vitale?
Yes.
I do have a question. Faux Saigon has been a successful business, but where are they status-wise with the property? I had heard, and I may not have this correct, but I thought that they were actually lost the lease in June.
Yeah, the people that are there now are the relatives or whatever. He's going to retire, and the other relatives, the younger ones, are going to come in and take it over, is my understanding. So these people have a lease in place with the owner, which the owner of the building would be the father-in-law of our agent. So he owns the building. So they have a lease in place. Again, it's technically a new ownership. They've got a slightly different LLC, but it's still going to be Faux Saigon, the same menu, same everything. Okay. And some of these people have worked there, so they're there for the duration.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the business whatsoever. They've been successful, and we'd like to keep them in District 3 for sure. So I don't know if the
Mr.
council
Chair.
member wants to wait.
I do have a question. I'm a little confused because it sounds like it's a restaurant, but now you want to turn it into a tavern?
No, we're continuing the same license that they've had. It's a
They've
restaurant.
had a tavern license?
Yeah, that's the same thing that they've had for since it started.
The tavern license allows them just to sell alcohol. And so if you want to go there and have a glass of wine or a beer or something with dinner.
Oh, I see. Well, see, I was confused
Yeah, it
because
it doesn't have to be a tavern. It's a restaurant with alcohol.
okay, all right.
I'm comfortable with making a motion to approve without her present.
Well, then do so.
Then I will make a motion to approve.
Need a second.
I'll second it.
Yeah, I'm in favor just as well. But I do have a question. We just let the gentleman just now that because the agent, he was not present, the actual guy is going to run the place, and basically it's the same thing. What are we doing? You're representing their agent, which is not here yet, Like I said, I move for approval, but we didn't do it for this other gentleman. They just walk out. And go ahead, Nick.
Mr. Chair, he's an attorney. I don't know who you are at all. I'm taking on face value that you're an attorney. And so the attorney has a different standing than somebody who's just showing up that we don't know.
Okay, but we don't know him either.
We don't know him either, but if he's acting as an attorney.
You're lucky. You don't have to know.
I'm lucky then.
I would take him at his
I hope, is to me the questions that I try to address. The fact is we used to have the same kind of issue, but because you're an attorney, we're voting for,
Yeah.
without the agent.
Yeah, I understand. I thought the agent was going to. The
You
agent
know what
will
I'm saying? To me, when someone doesn't show up and he knows already for weeks or so to be here, this date and the time, they should put it. Things happens. We're all human, so it's not the questions. So, but we have the motion on the floor first to approve and second. On the motion to approve it,
It was, all in favor?
all in favors?
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it. Thank you.
She doesn't need to be here on the 28th.
No.
She doesn't need to. Okay.
No,
Well,
that's
fine because I'm actually out of state on the 28th. So.
Well, you need to be here, though.
Yeah,
Surprise!
he didn't do me here.
What was that old statement about just keep your mouth shut?
Yeah.
That works.
Thank you. But anyway, we'll move on to item 5. It's 2022-0707, 2022-2024, new operator bartender class D operator application for Dawn Schwarten, bartender 188. Come in, Dawn. I see that you have. I should not call a pattern. In your life, you have occurred some violations in the last few years, about 5, 7, 8 years, right?
Yeah, the last 5 years.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
this is actually a renewal application
Yes.
and not a new one.
All right.
And so as a renewal, the process, and that's right, I meant to make that off. On the agenda, it's identified as a new license, but it's actually
Yes.
a renewal license.
All right.
When was that other license period? Is that the last 2 years, right?
Right.
So these would have been addressed during that time. My concern, though, and I want to point this out, and I did talk with Dawn before this point, is that in 19 CT 998 or something like that, out of Racine, there is an open case with an open bench warrant. So that's not necessarily considering a record, it's a warrant for arrest. Now, I talked to Dawn about that one. She said she didn't know about it. She thought she had resolved everything. And so it's ultimately up to the committee if you want to approve tonight. Another option may be, if this is a simple matter, it's just an operating after revocation that oftentimes, if you have a valid license, might be resolved very quickly. She might be able to resolve that prior to the 8th or the 28th, if that would make the committee feel better. I know in talking with her, she identified that her current license would expire.
My bartender's license will expire June 30th.
Yeah. The other thing I'll just point out is that a bartender's license allows you to tend bar basically solo or by yourself.
Right.
You could still do it with somebody else that's a licensed bartender, but there is that timeline concern. So if the committee's concerned about that, we can address that here. If not,
See, I don't know why that's on my record because I actually had the interlock on my car. I had it on my car for 2019 and 2020. So, I mean, I don't know how they got reckless driving or whatever it said it was.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Just real quick, just for clarification. It was an operating after revocation. It was issued on a summons, so the DA's office in Racine mailed something out. On CCAP, it shows that it was returned as undeliverable or whatever. And then what happens, the process is they issue that on a warrant then. So next time she sees law enforcement from 2019, or actually it was in 2021 that happened, she would have been arrested. So it would have been that she hasn't seen any cops since that time, but that's
And I
how
never
it happened.
received anything in the mail.
Right,
I mean,
okay.
and I've been at the same address, so
I can confirm you didn't, because CCAP says you didn't get anything.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
All of this brings concern because the what ifs. So you're bartending, there's a problem, the police come in, you have a bench warrant, you're arrested. You're solo at behind that bar, there's no one there.
No, I
So
understand.
I would say that I think it'd be reasonable that you take care of this issue
Oh,
and
believe
then
that.
come back.
Right.
As Attorney Serwin said, in the meantime, you can still tend bar,
Mm-hmm.
you just wouldn't be able to do it solo. So in good faith,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see that happen before you get your renewal.
okay.
So what motion would need to be made in order to do that? Would we?
It may be a situation she can handle within the next 8 days.
Okay.
It might be able to be resolved via a phone call and a quick visit over there. And so we might want to just hold this till that meeting, and then
yeah,
see
we can
what
hold
time
it,
she's
sure.
ready.
Okay.
And that way, you might be able to get it and everything done in that time. This is typically something in Milwaukee County that we would have amended to a ticket if you get a valid license. So I can't say that would be what happened for you. I have no idea what's going to happen for you. I don't know what Racine would do. I'm not in the DA's office anymore, but it might be something pretty quick.
Okay,
I
then I
hope
would make that motion to hold.
All right.
Okay, I need a second.
I need a second for discussion.
Go ahead.
I would feel much better if you cleared that up. You
No, I
cleared it up
understand. I'm
very
gonna feel
definitely
much better
because
to
I
clear
wouldn't
it up.
want, I wouldn't want you arrested.
Well, my dad was a cop, so I mean,
Right.
it kind of bothers me that this was out there because if I would have got pulled over for, like, say, a light was out in my car,
Exactly.
they would have said I had a warrant, and I would have honestly said I didn't know I had a warrant.
Right.
No one
You
likes
know,
those surprises.
Yes. So I clear it up and then come back, I would
Right.
say.
Before we hold it, we vote on it. So the county or the DA, they've tried to make contact with you, but why was it impossible for them to?
I live at the same address. I don't know why they were unable to contact me.
So he didn't have no forward address when you moved from the previous address. Normally,
She didn't move.
I
They
didn't
mailed it
move.
to her house,
yeah.
and it never got there.
Oh, she never got it.
Undeliverable
Right.
for whatever reason. It sounds like maybe a bad address. Or
That
they-
address, it could be. Yeah,
might have
that's
been the
fine.
DA's office that did something wrong.
All right. So we have an emotion and a second to hold it.
Yes.
All in favor of the emotion to hold it?
Yes.
A motion is to.
Yeah, it's already,
we-
it's already
Taken
taken care
care
of.
of. We did
Then I'm
that.
going to come back on
Okay.
the 28th
Yes.
Right.
At
Sure.
7
at 7 o'clock.
Right.
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please be in touch with Attorney Serwin as well,
Oh, yeah, I'll write down.
to let him know, like, hey, I got
This
it.
one we
and
should
Do you
deny.
want to
I
take
didn't.
them? Well,
So you don't waste your time.
Yeah, we deny it.
appearance.
Oh, yeah, not a present, but I think they're for denial anyway, both of them.
So that would be my suggestion, just to take them together.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll wait for.
You wanna wait for Attorney
Yeah,
Serwin?
let's wait for Attorney Nick.
Chairman Vitale, I just have a question for Rebecca, if I could.
Yes, go
Have
ahead.
there been contact from anyone on 6 and 7? No. Okay, then yeah, we can do it
Move
that
for
way.
denial, both. of
Well,
them.
yeah, we
Well,
can just
let's wait
wait
for
and take them
Nick.
together.
Nick, we just wait for you.
Sorry.
So we have item 6 and 7, and really we need an emotion of denial.
Were these second non-appearances?
Second, and an appearance and plus the records.
Okay.
The first one probably could just be
Well,
non-appearance.
what's your approach or your feeling?
Are both non-appearance for the second
Yeah,
or the
The
first
non-appearance for
time?
number 6 is appropriate if that's how the committee wants to proceed. I can't advise that you consider the 2022 pending matter because that is not an exempt offense. It can't be considered at this point. We can't consider that as a conviction. So that one, if you want to deny it, it would only be, I would only offer, advocate based on non-appearance. The second one has a 2021 OWI, and so that is fairly approximate.
Let's take them both separate.
Let's
then.
take 'em-
So
yeah, okay, that's
read
fine.
6, we'll do that, and then we'll do 7.
I thought they were both second non-appearance.
Yeah, so we can go to item 6, 2022 to 2024 new operator license bartender class D operator application for Queen Harry Williams. Bartender.
Motion to deny based on second non-appearance.
I second it.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it. Then we move on to item 7, 2022-0709, 2022-0.
Motion to hold till
hold
next
it.
meeting.
Told that if.
Are we
if-
holding that? We can hold that item, correct?
And if you want to, I
Oh,
think
no.
the second non-appearance.
I don't believe, I'm not sure if he's
It was on before, I think, right? Ms. Kina?
She only has one
To be honest
OWI.
with you, Quinari, I believe I prepped this for the first time for Quinari,
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
don't
not sure.
think either of them have been scheduled
Okay,
before, but
that might be new information, so I don't know if you want to reconsider and give them another date to try to show up and show competent evidence of rehabilitation. It's up to the committee. I think usually we give 2.
We've been giving 2. That's why I asked if it was
Yeah.
the second non-appearance. So with that being said, if we take 6 and 7 together, then I'd have to retract my motion of what I just did.
Yeah.
Take 6 and 7 together and make a motion to hold.
Told
So-
both of them.
Yes. And if they don't appear the second time, we'll address
Okay,
it.
we'll give them another chance. So on the motion, we have a second, right? All the person, right?
What are, okay, you took
Go hold
that
that, go hold that.
for number 7?
6 and
Both of
7
them.
now.
Oh, 6 and 7?
seven.
Oh, now we changed the motion?
Yes, because I thought it was a second non-appearance, and it's not. It would be the first non-appearance, and we've been gracing most that, in the event they had
We will
problems
give
getting
them
here.
both a chance.
Give them one more chance,
All right,
yes.
thank you, Nick.
It's gonna be nice once in a while. Just kidding.
So, on
Okay, then-
items 6 and 7, I make a motion to hold.
I'll second that.
So all in favor of the second of the
Aye.
motion to
Aye.
hold it?
I
Opposed? The aye have it.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
second.
Second, all in favor of the motion to
Aye.
adjourn? The aye have it.
Okay.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Check, but I had Bruce to get.
You